Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today it's candling day to check out the possible shipping damage I might be seeing from the batch of Chantecler eggs that Mark Dickson sent me from New Hampshire. I'm a little scared and a little excited, so I'm just gonna do the thing and then update you on how it's going. But first, I'm gonna turn off the lights, sit on my little stool right there, and get going on this sorting of viability. So then I could do my space planning based on what I might be able to anticipate for the hatch. Alright, I just did my batch of eggs, which are the control group. You know, home eggs usually hatch better. And I had 3 blood rings, and all the rest of them are developing really good. What I mean by really good, you can kind of see where the mass is further down, and there's a lot of veining, and there's some movement in these eggs. This is hard in this lighting. Now, the blood rings, see that single line of red? That means no good. Started and quit very early. And these all came from the same pen from 2 different females. So that's interesting. If it was any more than that, I'd be doing a lot more research on why. The rest of these look great, and that's my good news. So next I'm doing the shipped egg batch. Hopefully it's similar. So let me swap these out, and then we'll get back to it. Yay! Now I'm excited. So you can see in this one, this is an air sac that is saddled and a little weird. This is why I'm incubating in an upright position for sure. And I'm gonna hatch them in an upright position as well. A lot of these air cells are wonky. But we have a ton of positive growth. Way better than what he told me I could expect. Because he said on his farm at home, he sees about 85%. But I only had to pull out 2 of his for being absolute blanks versus 3 of mine. And the rest of these have positive development going on. There were a couple that were questionable, like maybe they were lost yesterday, but they haven't actually turned into blood rings yet, and so it's too premature to actually pull them out. They're gonna stay here, and I'm not candling again until day 18. I'm just gonna leave them alone, keep my incubator operating as accurate as I can, and keeping my humidity right where it's at, which is between 40 and 45%. For my ambient conditions, for my eggs, that works. And it should also work for these eggs. This is super exciting. If most of these hatch, that's a pretty good startup in 1 batch. Well, 2 batches. He sent 2 different boxes for a total of 36 eggs. 34 developing strong. There was no breakage in transit. No cracks. Flawless execution, if you ask me. Man, is this going to be one of those great times when it actually works out, having shipped eggs? I'm excited. Alright, back to work. I'm going to squeeze another little update after this one, just because it doesn't warrant its own video. But I just want to keep you informed on what I'm up to. So let me go back out into the barn and show you my plan for these now that I do need to pay attention to my space planning. Well, in light of how that candling went, I'm going to have to pay close attention to my space. So I'm working through my mind now how I'm going to move some birds around and keep my little system of rotation going. So here, there, over there, over there, and over there is all older breeding stock that are all at least 1.5 years old at this point. I need to do some more filtering and condensing and do my mid-season male rotation, because I have boys in waiting that are going to get their shot for the second half of the season. But first, this started group needs to move out and go to their new flock. That'll free up this pen. And when I have an empty pen, I can then start sorting and rebuilding my flock for the second half of the season. So I'm going to start that on Wednesday when that pen becomes available. So after I've done that, this pen will be open. This pen full of boys, they're about 8 weeks old now. They're going to get sorted out. I'll probably put the most favorable over here, and the dinner grow outs here in my turkey pen, which you can see no longer has turkeys. They're available. They're White Hollands, and I moved them down the hill so that they're out of the way. And I just have 2 nice males that got through their sort day with flying colors. They're going to leave with that first group in that other pen. So then over here, in another grow pen, these are 5-week-olds, boys and girls. I haven't sorted them yet, but I'll do that once they move over there. Once those move out, then we'll have females and males. So this pen is empty. It's always a relief when I empty pens. And that's reserved for the pullets up top here. The males down here on the bottom, they'll get sorted and they'll get moved somewhere over there. This is my youngest batch right now. They just got split by growth merit and leg color. Not for sure on the gender yet. I'll do that here in another 2 weeks or so, but right now, better ones up top, worse ones on the bottom. These guys are on borrowed time now. I'm hoping they're going to be dinner worthy and they get to grow, 12, 14 weeks, something like that. We'll see. So when my eggs hatch, those babies get 2 weeks in the hatch room. Then I bring them out here, and then I start splitting them and sorting them all through my spaces. So since my batch is also going to be a pretty good size, I'm not setting any more eggs because I'm going to end up pinched on space, and I haven't done my growing for me yet. So all the littles I currently have, I'm growing those for me. Because after I go through these adults and I figure out who really truly is breeding quality, I'll see what I have left and go from there. And I use my grow outs to backfill my pens so that I'm ready for next year. Because I know it's only June of this year, but I'm already thinking about next year. Because you have to think about that. You're thinking short term, medium term, and long term. And we're running out of good weather. Winter is coming. It takes at least 4 months to grow some birds and figure out if they are potentially viable breeders or not. And in thinking about how many are still coming and what I want to achieve before next year, I have to get really good at my space planning. So I do have overflow space, and I still have an empty coop. So over here, I have my project birds that I'm growing out. I just kind of monitor their early growth and then leave them there to finish up and sort through them later. We did do a little processing day the other day to get rid of non-essential males that didn't need to be on the feed bill anymore. I got about 18 pounds of meat, so that's cool because we're about out of chicken. Over here is my rooster coop, but we're actually gonna switch that over to be a layer coop once we do a remodel to it to outfit it for that. My turkeys, they're mad about being in this new situation. This is the second day. They're already tired of it. So we're gonna actually cut a gate into this fencing. We're gonna frame it in, put a door on it, make sure it's predator secure. So then I can let them out into all this forage for as long as they're here. Ideally they move on to a new flock, but I'm also not heavily advertising them either because I do like turkeys. So I'm prioritizing where they go. I'd rather see them in a breeding situation and not a dinner situation, and so far most people want them for dinner. It's their purpose, but they're also a heritage bird that breeds true. So if you want more turkey, these will breed more turkey. So in the meantime, they're as spoiled as we can let them be. And here soon, they'll be back into this forage. And I'm super happy to have my pen space in the barn available. So I also have my backup boys. These two over here I already ruled out as not as good as these four. And there's two in here I really like better than what I already have in my pens. So, time to filter, sort, select, call my meat buyer for the extras that no longer fit in, and then start the second half of my hatch season. And that's going to buy me time to grow out the new Chantecler birds. See what I'm looking at there. And what kind of pen space they're going to need next season. But for now, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on things. With enough birds to get a pretty good start on next season. So more on this later. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll walk you through everything I do and hopefully help you learn what you're doing, gain perspective, and have your own dual purpose sustainable flock. So more on this later.